Hey, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm at the Manchester airport here in Manchester, England, and I've been here for a few hours. My flight leaves at 6 a.m., so no hotel. I just came to the airport to hang out, like all the other people catching early flights. Anyhow, I wanted to reflect on my experiences here in England this time around while they're still a bit fresh. Because I had some pretty cool experiences here this time, and they had like very little to do with sightseeing and a lot more to do with people seeing and listening and all that stuff, man. So I'm just going to spit out some reflections real quick. Not really a whole lot of rhyme or reason, just telling you like it happened. I think one of the things that I can honestly admit that I had stereotypes about English people. I don't even know where they came from. I used to think English people were smug and that they didn't really like to express emotion. I think I maybe even thought that they weren't capable of expressing emotion, which is shameful for me to admit. I wasn't sure. People have often talked about in America how Europe in general is a godless place, or how the UK, how England is, has diverged from its Christian roots and such. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't really feel that that's the case. What I think I see or saw here, one night in particular, was that there's a difference between giving up on some of the traditional spiritual beliefs that are Christian beliefs and growing weary of certain things like hypocrisy, and such inconsistencies and unwillingness to explain things in dialogue, stuff like that. Like one night I went out with some friends here, and my friend introduced me to some of his friends, and we went to a comedy club of all places, and the acts were hilarious. Just I'm sitting up there and just like can't even breathe. I'm laughing so hard, and we get done with that, and we're in London, kind of hanging out, walking around, taking the train places, and I don't know. By 1:30, we're seated at this Chinese restaurant. And I'm like, what am I doing, man? I'm 34 years old, eating Chinese food at 1:30 in the morning, dude. That's crazy. I don't even eat. I'm not usually even up. Nah, that's not true. I am up that late, but I don't eat that late normally. So anyway, we're sitting there, and I don't know. Somewhere during the course of the conversation, my buddy's girlfriend asked me, kind of about how, like, what my opinion was about England. How do Americans see England when it comes to religion? Because she taught, or she teaches religious ed at a school here in the London area, and the question caught me off guard because I'm not expecting to have a conversation about Christianity. Why did I just look behind me just now like I'm afraid somebody's gonna like come and confiscate this material? That was pretty funny. Anyway, it was really weird. She came and she asked me that question, and man, for about an hour, I sat there with people who probably, admittedly, they would say that they're not spiritual people. I don't know. I mean, that was the sense I got, but it was a great conversation, and what I saw was that people here are thinking about God. I think sometimes we think that we've cornered the market on like whatever the struggle and the journey is that involves our spiritual kind of pilgrimage. We ask questions about the authentic personhood of God. Who is He? What does He desire of me? How come there's so many inconsistencies with people who say they represent God and then do things that are absolutely contrary to what we might perceive His nature to be? They have the same questions, and it shouldn't be surprising. But as I sat there, I was humbled because I thought, I'm being asked genuine questions. And then at the end of it all, they asked me, or someone asked me, well, why do you believe? And here's the guy that has, I've taught apologetics, to Christian high schoolers and stuff, and I've been in college settings teaching and all these things. But it was such a great question because I've always felt, and I told my friend John this, whose last name I won't say, to protect the innocent. But I told him one time a few weeks back that I said, one of the reasons I like Englanders or, people who reside here in the UK is because they just shoot straight, man. They tell you like it is, they're pretty transparent and pretty forthcoming when it comes to just kind of telling it like it is, and I appreciate that. And so, as we had this conversation, I knew that I wasn't going to get away with any pat responses like, well, I believe because, there's historical documentation of the fact that Christ died and a community, a Jewish community was impacted on some notable scales historically. You can see, I didn't go there with apologetics. I didn't quote anything from any Lee Strobel books, and I love those books. The only thing I could muster was to tell them that unapologetically, I've had some experiences in my life that I can reconcile with my faith. It's not that my faith is purely experiential. I'm not saying that I believe, when I was answering the question, I didn't say I believe solely because of some emotional experience that I'd had, but I did say, that I put a lot of stock in the fact that I believe God has connected with me personally, and just things of that nature. And it was amazing to see that they not only did they appreciate my response, they I don't know, they like validated it. These were people who, the same people that for years I've kind of been told they're not only are they not interested, they're rude and I don't know. I didn't get that at all. The people here in England were some of the kindest people I've ever met in my freaking life. They've shown so many characteristics to me that are Christian, that is unbelievable. And so many times I'm finding that it's like that. I have friends in other places around the world who aren't friends who aren't Christians, and they operate the same way. It's like they have the marks of Christ, and how they live and stuff, and they're playing their sixth man every day, learning from the lessons, providing wisdom, serving the community, getting their hands dirty, not making excuses. I watch people, here in England and in Italy and in places I've been who work tirelessly to produce community-oriented activities for kids, and they're reaching out, and they're attempting to be better people, and they're trying to do the right thing, and they're trying to understand their reality and how to create a life of significance. And the reason, I guess, again, I'm throwing thoughts out because this is fresh in my mind, and it was just really powerful. And there's a lot of stuff that I really want to share about this place, and I'm probably going to do that as I kind of decompress here after the trip. But right now it's fresh, and I'm just really, really, really remarkably just kind of in a state of I just feel blessed for having been here. The generosity, the accommodating, it's just been unbelievable. And that same night, after the Chinese food, I went back to my buddy's place, and my buddy was staying at another place, so I could sleep in his bed at his place. It was kind of weird. But his roommate and I stayed up until 6 a.m., man, talking about God and spirituality, listening to music. He encouraged me to, he said, man, you should be doing something with your music. And we were listening to my iPod and some songs that my friend and I recorded years ago, and he was validating that. And he was a guy he's not even a churchgoer, but he was encouraging me, and it was just cool, because I was able to receive it. And everything that I grew up with said that that's not supposed to happen. All the traditions and all of the admonishments always say that, no, you're not supposed to hang around non-Christians and such, and almost like they're the plague. But I had a great time, and future blogs, there'll be more to add. There'll be more to talk about here, because I got a lot to say about my experiences here, not the least of which is how cool it was to work with some of the kids and meet some of the families here who really love their children and are trying to do the right thing. So with that, I'm going to sign out because I got about 35 seconds until this cuts off. www.sixman.com, Manchester, England, NBC Camps, 2010. That's how we're doing it. Talk to you later.